Hey you guys, this is the Kaizen Man welcoming you to the Kaizen Projekt. And in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a foundational yoga pose, the Chaturanga Dandasana, or as it's popularly called, Chaturanga. You'll find this pose in most modern yoga classes, and it's often used as a transition between high plank and coming into your upward facing dog in the sun salutation or surya namaskars as they're called. And because this pose is used as a transition, we don't typically spend a lot of time in Chaturanga, which is why I see a lot of people neglecting this pose and as a result making mistakes. So today I'm going to talk to you about the Chaturanga posture and also talk about how you can improve and build strength in the entire body. The most common mistake that people make in this pose is that they let their hands puff up and the index finger and the thumb side of the hand lifts off the mat. And I've talked about this in detail in this video here, so go ahead and click that link. But you want to learn how to spread the fingers nice and wide and be able to distribute the weight out into your knuckles and into the fingertips so your palms are flat when you start off in high plank. Once your palms are flat, let's work on the alignment for your high plank, in which your shoulders should stack on top of the wrists, and when you look back, you want your heels to stack on top of the toes. Mistake number 2. Here's where I see a lot of people just collapsing down towards the floor and not coming down with any muscular engagement. And what I mean by that is that on the way down, gravity is doing all the work of pulling the body down as opposed to the muscles coming down with control. And I'll use an analogy from lifting weights here. When you're squatting or bench pressing, when the barbell is moving down, you still want to maintain control over that negative movement, because if the weight comes down too fast, it can lead to injury. And it's the same thing in your Chaturanga. When you're bending the elbows and coming down towards the ground, you want to maintain that control so you're not letting your chest collapse and come down onto the floor. Now, what if you don't have the strength to be able to come down in control of your body? Well, the first thing that you want to do in that case is to bring your knees down to the mat. Once your knees are down and take some of the pressure off the hands, the next thing you want to do is really push your hands into the floor, almost as if you're trying to push the floor away from you and protract your shoulder blades or scapula. So you're trying to fill the space in the upper back. Once you have that, continue pushing into the hands, keep the space in the upper back nice and full, and then on the exhale, start to bend the elbows and lower down while maintaining that space in the upper back. This helps to bring your shoulders into play and take some of the pressure off of the wrists. Mistake number 3, and this is something I see all the time, is that when people actually start to bend the elbows start winging out to the sides as opposed to staying nice and tucked into the body. And this is important because the elbows, when they open out, it tends to round your shoulders and scrunches up the space between your shoulders and the ears, and you want to maintain that space by keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears and squeeze the elbows into your ribs. This helps to not only activate the back of the arms, but also brings your shoulders and the triceps into play together to make your Chaturanga that much more stronger and more in control. And Chaturanga is not just about strength in the upper body. Chaturanga is a full body exercise, and you want to make sure that your shoulders, your core, and the legs are all working together in this pose when you're lowering down towards the floor. And if you want to build strength in your core, you can go ahead and check out this video right here. Now, having talked about the mistakes that people most commonly make in Chaturanga and some of the ways that we can correct that, I'd like to now work on some exercises that you can do to help build strength in the entire body. The tricky part about Chaturanga is that if you're doing it a lot with bad form or incorrect form, what that can do is that can lead to injury in your shoulders and your wrists by adding excessive reps. So what you want to try and do is build strength in your body without necessarily adding the weight onto your joints. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to simulate what Chaturanga should feel like in your body, except we're going to do it standing up. Start with your hands in an overhand grip, pull the strap apart, and then as you exhale, begin to bend the elbows, pull the strap towards you. Keep the elbows nice and tight as you do this. Maintain that strength in the arms. Inhale to extend the arms one more time, and as you do this, keeping your core engaged, belly stays pulled in, legs are strong, and feet pressing down into the earth. You want to maintain that strength. Push the hands away from you so you're separating your shoulder blades, protracting them, and then continue pulling the strap apart as you bend the elbows, pulling the strap closer on the exhale, and inhale to straighten the arms. Once you do this a few times, you'll start to really feel this in your shoulder. It's a great way to build that strength in your shoulder before you start to convert that into practicing this pose on the ground. When you're there, pull the elbows, squeeze the legs, and bend the elbows as you come down. Pro tip here, push from the ankles, so swoop up into your up dog to look like a real pro. And just try and remember, practice is key here. And just to recap that video, the top 3 mistakes that we talked about that people make in Chaturanga is number 1, letting their hands puff up. So you want to spread the fingers and push into your palms, flatten them. The second mistake is that people come down too quickly without any control in your shoulders and the core. And you want to learn to keep your lower belly slightly pulled in and the shoulder blades separated so that you're coming down with activation through the shoulders. Mistake number 3, people let their elbows wing out too far, and you want to try and turn the elbows inward so that creates space in your shoulders and also helps to spread your collarbones as opposed to letting your shoulders round. So you want to keep the elbows nice and close, keep the hands strong, and lower down with grace and strength in your Chaturanga. If you enjoyed that video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you really like the channel, and if you enjoyed the video and want to pass it along, I urge you to share it with a friend who you think will benefit from this content. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support, all the comments, and the feedback that I've received from you over the years. Continue watching and supporting the channel. Until next time, it's the Kaizen Man, signing out.